Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm so happy to be speaking with 22 Rising. They've got a bunch of music in the works and a song out right now. I'm so happy they're here today. Thank you all for being here. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing? How's everyone doing?
Uh, yeah, I'm doing great. Before we start, can we go around and just get names for everyone listening or watching?
Okay, yeah, I'm Bradley Mangrum. I help write and do the lyrics, sing, and play a little bit of trumpet.
Hi, I'm Sab. I'm the drummer, timekeeper. Uh, yep.
Tequila bringer.
The tequila bringer.
I saw you did bring.
Yeah, pain in the ass sometimes, but that's my.
Temperamental sometimes. No, I'm kidding.
He actually lives in Hollywood. He's from Germany.
That's
though.
right. Yeah. Born and
Nice.
raised,
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm Josh. I play bass. I try and sing sometimes.
Sick.
Yeah. And my name is Mark. My name's Mark Anderson, and I play guitar.
Hell yeah. Well, again, thank you all so much for being here. So I'm obviously excited to talk to you about your music. You have one song out at the moment. It's called Fractured Fragments. So I want to dive right into that. I think a debut single is always so difficult for a band because it kind of sets the standard for what people are going to hear in the future. Of everything you've made, whether it be demos or ideas or whatever it is, why did you decide on this song out of everything else?
Well, honestly, we find it catchy, and it was the song that was ready at the time. That's what we're doing, right? You know, we have a bunch of songs in progress, ready to release, but that one was ready. And when we did our debut show, since we were a newer band, we wanted to release something with it.
I remember you also mentioning that the audience connected to it when we would play it. And we were a little bit surprised how it would go over in a live situation. And Bradley, being out in front, came back a couple times to me and said, hey, they really get into that song. So I think it was a natural kind of a good release for us.
I agree.
We kind of did the shine down thing where we let the audience pick what they like best. I mean, not like really deliberately, but we just realized, okay, that song gets more reaction than this song perhaps. And so we just thought, okay, why not?
No, I think that's a solid idea. Obviously, like if the audience likes it, it's a good sign for everyone. In terms of the actual sound and style and genre, I find that this song kind of does a little bit of everything. It's obviously rooted in rock, but it has like elements of grunge and there's these like soaring melodies in it. As far as future music goes, and you don't need to talk too much about it, but is that kind of the direction of sound that you'd like to stay in?
You know, we have plenty of songs like that, but we also have a lot of ballads. We got heavier stuff. We just write as we feel, you know. So, and if it catches, then we may start playing it out live.
But I think you're right. Sonically, there is a trend, whether we like it or not. We'll write a song, Bradley, or we'll work on a song together, and we just fill holes with certain sounds, whether it's a beat or a bass or a trumpet or a vocal or maybe even sometimes a guitar, but not all the time a guitar.
Sure.
And that's kind of the unique thing about us. I keep saying about, we don't, or at least for me, I don't want the songs to be so predictable to be, well, here comes the guitar solo.
Yeah.
Here, first
Right.
verse, chorus, second verse, here comes the guitar solo, chorus out.
Right. And I love adding the trumpet into the mix. It's a step twist.
Kinda,
I guess regardless if it's heavy or soft or whatever, lyrically, and we got like a soulful touch. Yeah. I know that to all of our stuff. So if you come watch us perform or whatever, we get a lot of people saying they kind of feel the emotions and stuff.
For sure. I think it's a good point maybe to segue into the name change and the identity behind it, because we were discussing this for a while, and the songs that we are writing now are different than the ones that we were performing and writing earlier. And so we didn't really have this plan per se, but we just felt like us being four guys with different influences, like from the darker, heavier side to the more melodic or more dancey, funky side.
Sure.
What represent, and so it resulted in a name change as well, because we felt like our identity had moved from what we thought we were going to be, or that we were, to what we were becoming, and even the audience and how the audience responded to us playing different songs that were a little bit more, I would say off kilter. The arrangement not being as predictable, perhaps. made us go, well, that's actually kind of cool. Let's maybe do more of that, you know.
Now that's awesome. I do want to talk about the name change actually. So again, for everyone out there, this is 22 Rising, but I want to know what inspired that and what sort of meaning it holds with you.
Well, like you said, the inspiration was there. A lot of times you would, because we were with Leighanne Gray, which is an amazing band and stuff, but a lot of times we would show them our material or tell them our names, and just we want people. It was confusing if they would pick. We would come up RF the like the 80s, like whenever Mark was in the band with the 80s.
The original album I think sold like 20,000 copies or something.
So it kind of broke that out.
We didn't want to, they're brand new people, you know. We need our own identity. That was the past.
Sure.
They're talented musicians with great ideas and stuff. We didn't want to stigmatize them. Like, we really don't play any of the songs from the past either. We're really trying to move forward with it, and these guys are great musicians, so it's kind of natural for them to have their own identity and name.
And 22 Rising for me means a lot. 22, my oldest daughter, her name was 22 letters long. She was born on the 22nd, and then at the age 5, she passed away in a car wreck on the 22nd. So it's a bunch of 22s right there. So for me, the name is a tribute kind of to my daughter, 22 Rising.
I love that. It's a powerful sounding name as well. I think for anyone who doesn't know, obviously the story behind it gives the music more power at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm really happy you explained that. I do want to talk a little about, I don't want to focus too much on the Leighanne Gray days, but I think it kind of segues into the music that you're making now. Do you kind of take like the process of how you did things in the past and apply it to the present, or does it feel like, okay, this is a new band, we're going to try things differently now?
I think it's the same as in him and I. The big thing is, before I met Mark, it was Leighanne Gray, and they had all this music tied to it. Once I met Mark, I started writing to all the new stuff. I started writing everything. We kind of went to, not say my style, but our music evolved from what it was before me into what we started creating together, our new sound. And from that point, we were like, we sound totally different. When people look up our name, we want them to see us and what we've started.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing different as opposed, and I'll write lyrics too, or just throw out an idea or a song title. But originally, when this incarnation of the band was formed, I was the primary writer for Dead Man Walking, Broken String. I didn't have anybody to write with.
Yeah.
So I do it myself, you know what I mean? Which is cool, but I much prefer writing with Bradley and Josh and Sab. We're just stronger that way, and the music just turns out, I don't want to say I was very one-dimensional. I tried not to be, but, it's better working as a team, in my opinion. It just takes a lot of work, you know what I mean? And we're pretty much on the same page. Like, when we sit down and we write an idea, the spark has to come from Bradley. If he hears something that I like, or Josh plays, or maybe even a groove that Sab has,
sure,
he's got to sell it out there, and he's got to create, and he has to get a vibe and pick up and create a song with it and create the melodies. So I kind of look at my role as kind of a support role a little bit. Like the key is, the key to, he's the Corvette and I'm the key. I put the key in the ignition and hopefully it fires up and he goes. And Sad and Josh are right behind us, right? But anyway, it's really no different. A good song, we try to make the songs that are, people can relate to. I really, we try to connect with people. That's really of an instrument. To master your instrument, these instruments were really originally created to communicate and connect with other people. It's not how fast you can play or all of that. They're really supposed to connect with people and their soul and where they're going in life and stuff like that. So that's what we're trying to do.
Now, that's a very solid analogy. And I think it kind of brings up the point, or at least like the explanation of the band dynamics. It kind of sounds like everyone is involved in some way, but is it always someone taking the lead, or is it sort of like open lines of communication, or are things born out of jams?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes they,
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Honestly, I would say it's
Sweet.
these guys who have, because they were leading instruments, we were the rhythm section, but they play lead or
Yeah.
sing. They more of the time would come in with their ideas. But like Reborn, for example, we were jamming, and I think Mark was either tuning the guitar or he just played something which sounded to me like, oh wow, that's cool. That's kind of weird, but cool. Let's do this again. And then okay, now with the speed, and okay, now let's do this. And so we had jam sessions that became songs, or he brings an idea in, or he brings an idea in, and we just kind of like hashed them out together. You know.
No, that's awesome. Listen, I think there's no wrong way to make a song. And at the end of the day, like someone can write the lyrics, someone can do this, someone can do that, but there needs to be open lines of communication to be like, well, I think we should do this or do that. And then that's how the song is born and everyone gets their input. It's really important. Yeah. Do you find though, I guess in new projects like this, with new people collaborating, that your personal influences might get in the way of the type of music that you want to make?
For me, it helps. For me,
Yeah, okay.
it definitely does because I haven't started I call this like a new project. I haven't started a new project in a very long time, ever since Icky Hollow, and ever since then, I've been in a bunch of wonderful bands, and I never really brought a lot of my songs that I've already written and stuff. So this being a new creation, it's fun that I get to bring a lot of older stuff and I don't know.
I'm a little, yeah, I'm a little bit the opposite. I every day when I play for probably an hour, and I just love just recording like ideas. And it seems like every day I play, even when I don't feel like playing, even when it's late at night, I come up with 2 or 3 ideas that could be a solid song that I'll either record or I'll start writing lyrics. And I just enjoy. I really like, the whole premise. We're kind of a self-produced band, although we've used Alan Niven in the past, who's got a book out right now called Sound and Fury.
Sweet.
And Letcha Gray's mentioned in it in a couple of points in his new. But we are kind of self-produced, so we write our own lyrics, we play our own instruments, we do our own recordings, we perform our own music. So we're doing everything, trying to do it all. So it's kind of I like it when the juices are flowing.
Sure, sure.
Really look back too much on my old stuff, to be honest with you. That's just me.
Not very cool.
When I joined the band, I kept pestering the guys to play party politics stuff, and they're like, nope. Like, yeah, we'll do it one day, but
I never did.
yeah, it didn't really happen because I like the old stuff and I like the new stuff as well, and I kind of like the bridge between. But yeah, just in terms of who we are as people right now,
People in the audience
it went into a different direction. You know, even with a name change that wasn't really planned, it just kind of happened as a natural result of the dynamics in the band, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
So much. It's so easy to to write and record and do all of it. It just takes time.
Sure. I mean, considering that you guys have all been parts of different projects in the past, and I think that's kind of important that it's not your first thing. Are there specific like teachings or learnings or anything that you've taken from the past and kind of worked on in the future to sort of streamline the process of making music?
As in general or writing?
Yeah, in general, literally anything to get you to the end point, I suppose.
Yeah, I would say everybody learns from their
think
past. You learn from your mistakes and learn from stuff that you just taught yourself or from others, so you can get better as you move along. Like Mark said, we're trying to produce our stuff our own selves and record, and it's just fun. We're gonna probably shoot some videos so people can see. I mean, we're a garage band. Our practice is in a garage, so
yeah,
some raw stuff.
That's an interesting question because as we start to develop and start to use these new software programs and the technology associated, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, it's like learning a new language.
A lot it starts with the beats per minute. You can, if you're off even 2 or 3 BPMs when you're starting to write these songs and trying to develop a groove, it really affects. I mean, I've gone through a whole track before, and Bradley go, I think that's two or 3 beats behind and sure enough, and I have to redo the whole track. So we're very conscious. In fact, I don't really like tracking music without one of these guys around, just in case I get it off by that much.
Yeah.
Sure,
And they
it
don't
makes a
feel it
difference.
the way that I do. So I think that's a really recent lesson that I've learned in producing and recording and engineering our own music.
Nice. So like I mentioned before, Fractured Fragments is the only, I guess, officially released single at the moment. I know that you guys are working on things, but do you have sort of a game plan for the rest of this year? Anything official or shows or anything? I mean, I see the board.
Yeah.
It looks like things are happening.
We've got 30 song ideas right now.
Jesus.
And we could have 40 easily. But you know, if Bradley comes over, I would say 4 days a week, and we sit down and basically I grab an acoustic guitar. I mean, this morning he came over unexpectedly, and I played this song that I had kind of going. He goes, "I love that." The only problem is I got to remember that. You know what I mean? And develop
Right.
basically. But yeah, and that's the good thing about. I really love playing with these guys because they're very creative, and we could come up with a song. We could write an album in 2 weeks.
So yeah, we should have some releases coming out as well next month, and we have about 6 songs that are really close to being ready to be released.
They're in the mixing stage, right, Bradley?
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's what I was inching
In
towards
the
right
mixing
there.
stage.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of a little bit of a learning curve, and Bradley's doing a great job. I don't really get into the mixing thing at all, but I think Josh and these guys are a little bit more sophisticated at it than I am. I'm more tracking guy, you know, and idea guy. Right?
Well, is there a song that you're collectively itching to get out to the world?
Boy, Bradley?
I'm ready to get them all out,
Sebastian?
really.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
That's it. I mean, we're born.
Yeah.
Reborn is
Okay,
all-
that's
We
a good
have a lot of
I
songs
mean, I
ready
would
to
say I
get
would
to the
pick Reborn
people.
as well. Yeah.
So it's quite
Cool.
a bit.
Yeah, that's
Quite a bit. All right.
Let's say Reborn is the one that marks the, I mean, not official, but it's the one that we wrote that was weird, or not weird, but just
Yeah.
different.
It's
And
different.
suddenly you're like, this is cool. It's for sure different than anything that we did before, but I like the direction. And then 2 months later, we do the name change or something like that.
Something like
Right?
that.
So Reborn, I would say, marks that
Yeah.
period where
Yeah.
we're like, oops, we're a new band now.
yeah. Yeah, there's what do we got on the so the 6 songs are Dreamer. That's one. Then we have Hey Baby, and then we have Left Behind,
Left Behind, Leading Light.
Sunshine,
Oh,
Leading
Leading
Light,
Light.
and what's the 6th one? The 6th one is
I've-
is
I think
Fractured
we're already-
Fragments.
It's somewhere on the
we're
board.
past 6, I think.
Sure.
Five that are in the mix. Do we have another 6th one, or is Fractured Fragments
I
part of
don't
that
know.
6?
I can't think of one.
So basically, what you have is instead of releasing a EP or something,
Yeah.
these days they release single, and then it's
Ah, that's
just,
the way to do it.
the thing is we really want to start getting into the point where we can develop a video to support
Sure.
the, the song and stuff. We'll have to work. So it's kind of like before we drop the song, maybe we'll
It's work
figure
in
that part
progress.
out. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of
Are there any key differences between seeing you guys in a live setting versus the recorded versions?
Yeah, you won't feel my emotion. You won't feel the emotion
Bradley's very
In the recorded version?
whenever we perform live.
Yeah, live is.
Bradley's very
live is
animated.
fun.
He can sell it. He's a good
Hell
frontman.
yeah.
Just let it out, you know.
There you go. Listen, the stage is your place to perform and do your thing. I mean, that's where you capture the real fan for the future.
Yeah. I mean, that's, it's just one of these things that in today's world, I don't know how many people actually see people playing their instruments to actually.
Well, yeah, everything's a
And to see a
DJ
guy
now.
playing bass. And then when Bradley pulls out his trumpet, I think people are like, whoa, what is that?
Well, that's what I'm
I mean,
saying, because
there
you
are
think
people- a lot
you're
of people
getting, yeah,
People play
you
guitar
think
all-
you're going to see a standard rock show and then someone pulls out a horn and it kind of takes it to the next level. And I
And then
also
we-
think just like in today's general like rockscape,
Yeah.
everyone's kind of just rehashing and recycling the same sounds. What are you doing to be different?
Amen.
Horns, baby. It takes it to a new level and it gets people talking. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I went to see this band last night. They pulled out a horn and it changed the whole thing. And yeah, that's, I mean,
Not only that, but he'll like break out the horn, do a solo, put it down on the stand, and go right into this chorus.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty amazing. It takes
Master
a lot of
breath control.
But you mentioned a really good point there about kind of standing out, because many artists try to maybe stand out and not fall prey to being recycled, but it feels contrived, where it doesn't quite, like they might throw in something like sax or horn, but somehow it feels forced. But somehow when he came in with a horn, I'm like, we'll see about that, right? But it just feels so natural, like it belongs there.
Sure.
Imagine a different person playing horn in a different band. It may not work the same way, but somehow the sounds that these guys get going, they really work together. And
It's awesome.
Yeah. I think that another thing that the band kind of has that separates us a little bit is the sonic level. We have dynamics that we have to put in place to support the horn, to support his vocals, to support the things that are going on in the songs, instead of just set your volume at 10 and go for it. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it plays a little different with this group of musicians in the way that we structure the songs. There's a lot of dynamics, a lot more than most bands we play with or bands that I've been in before.
Nice. I have a couple more things for you before we wrap up, but I kind of want to give you the opportunity to plug anything that's happening in the near future, whether it be shows or just things in the works. I know that you've mentioned a few things, but maybe like performances. Is anything happening in that realm?
Yeah, we're playing this Friday at 3 clubs. Tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
4 hours.
yeah, less than that actually.
Less than 24
Yeah,
hours.
so it's an early show, but it'll be fun. It's always good to get out.
Yeah.
I'd
3
like
clubs,
to say this.
Hollywood, mark your calendar, people.
Yeah, if
There
anybody
you
wants
go.
us to play, check us out on Spotify, YouTube. They can listen to the LG songs. They can listen to the new song. If they want us to play, contact us.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
We're a
Well,
gigging
we're
band,
awesome.
man. We
Yeah.
need gigs.
Yeah, we're cheap too.
There you
Hey,
go.
I'll show up.
We'll play for beer.
There you go. Listen, my last thing for you here is it's basically for anyone that is going to discover you from this. Is there anything you'd like to say to them or let them know before they listen to any of your music for the first time?
You got anything, John?
I would just say, come see us live. I think that's really where we thrive. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And be ready for our next song, because it may not be like the first one that came out.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like, for instance, we're working on kind of, I'm going to show these guys, it's like a 50s kind of rock song, which is totally different.
Nice. Okay.
It's not better than watching people dance while you perform, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's cool to rock out the whole time, but man, when you can step it back a little bit, watch people really get into it, there's not a better feeling to watch people dance to your music.
Very cool.
You're saying, come and see us live. Like, recording is fine, but somehow live. Like, we're all people who love playing live, or it's important, almost like a ritual, where you put more into it than you can convey through a recording. Yeah, like when you see this guy headbanging and dancing or jumping around, you know it's on, you know. So, yeah.
Well, listen, guys, before we wrap up, I want to plug everything for you once again. So for anyone watching or listening, I'm speaking with 22 Rising. They have one song out at the moment. It's called Fractured Fragments, but now feels like the time to follow along because look at the board behind you. There's so much happening on the way. We'll have the links to all your social media so people can listen and share and follow along. But yeah, this feels like the ground floor of something big at this point. I'm super excited to hear what comes out in the near future. And sincerely, I want to thank you all for taking the time and being here. I wasn't expecting you all, but I'm happy everyone showed up.
I wasn't
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks. Thank you.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much. I hope to speak soon. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Cool. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.